It is a magical Monday evening here in Lagos. Hello and welcome to a fresh edition of Game On here on News Central. My name is Babatunde Koiki. What a weekend of sporting action that we have had. From action in the Nigerian Professional Football League, from the Lagos City Marathon as well, from action to the European leagues, and also not forgetting the NBA All-Star Game. It has been absolutely lit. The action has been incredible. And for the next 1 hour or so, we'll be bringing you all the latest sporting news from Nigeria, Africa, and beyond, as we want to do on this show. And you can join us Monday to Friday, 9 to 10 p.m. On those, basically for the best 1 hour of sports. It's a wonderful lineup for you tonight. Let me quickly start by introducing the one and only Onyenwuchiwa Chukwu, who is the deputy editor of Sporting Life, and he comes through tonight as he always does every Monday. It's always a pleasure to see him, but we have an absolutely special guest tonight, joining us many times all the way from Port Harcourt, but this time around he has decided to make the long trip to Lagos, where he's right here in the studio with us. I'm talking about none other than the one and only China Acheru, who is the programs manager of Wazobia FM in Port Harcourt, China. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Can I call you Mr.? Can I call you Mr. China?
Call me what you want, I will answer.
No, just call me. Are you Mr. China?
Yes, I am.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Are you a vagabond?
Why would you think I'm a vagabond?
You are a vagabond.
Why will you call me a vagabond?
According to the new book that you wrote, you said the details of a vagabond, or the musings of a vagabond. So that will make you a vagabond. We'll be talking about your new book as we progress on the show, China. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you guys on the show. But as we always do every Monday, I think it's only fair that I start by asking you guys, what was your sporting highlight of the weekend? Do I say guess first? No. Let me ask you, what was your sporting highlight of the weekend?
Yeah, it has to be the Premier League game between Nottingham Forest and Fulham. You know, it had 3 Nigerians, 3 Super Eagles, very regular players for the Super Eagles, and then eventually Calvin Bassey scored the winning goal for Fulham. That game had Olaino, who is a super regular for Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest have been very, very brilliant this season, breaking into the top 4 for the first time in a long while. And also had Alex Iwobi. In fact, after that game, Iwobi cracked a joke that Olaino is still his brother, despite the defeat. So for me, that was the highlight. I like the different angles, the fact that Calvin Bassey scored his first goal of the season for Fulham and all that. So it just gave me that, maybe breath of fresh air, seeing 3 players, 2 in Fulham,
basically 3 Nigerian international stars in the same game. I can understand how you feel regarding that, but I have to come to you, China. What was your sporting highlight of the weekend?
For me, it had to be from the Lagos City Marathon. We've always organized these marathon races, and we have had the East Africans come and clear everything and go back to their homes. They still cleared everything this time, but we had the Nigerian in the top 10.
For the first time ever, yeah.
Yes, we had the Nigerian in the top 10. So, like you said before we came on air, we are getting closer. I don't know how long it take to get us close to close, but in the top 10, it's something for Nigeria. For me, that was my sporting highlight of the weekend. I
totally agree, and that is exactly where we start the show, or not? No, we start the show tonight. The 10th Lagos City Marathon took place over the weekend in Lagos, and unsurprisingly, a Kenyan Edwin Kibet won the title, the men's race, defending his title with a time of 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 16 seconds, earning him $50,000 for his efforts. And this marks his second consecutive win. He won the race last year as well, and remarkably, Kibet achieved victory despite arriving just 1 day, 24 hours before the race. In Nigeria, we say that's how stars do. Ethiopia's Guta Meseret Hirpa won the women's title, finishing in 2 hours, 37 minutes and 4 seconds, leading an Ethiopian 1-2 finish. But the biggest news for everyone was the fact that a Nigerian runner, Nyango Gyang Boyi, made history as the top Nigerian finisher, placing 8th overall with a time of 2 hours, 25 minutes and 41 seconds in the men's race. He earned $4,000 for the international category, and also an additional 2 million naira for being the highest finishing Nigeria in the race. Incredible. And we've talked about this, about how, it always seems to be an East African affair, but the fact that in Nigeria cracked the top 10 for the first time, are we getting first? I know we're all happy, but are we getting ahead of ourselves? Is this a fluke, or is this the indication of possibilities?
Yeah, there are possibilities everywhere. You remember the Okwepe race, we used to have different rates for the foreigners and different rates for the Nigerians. But like everybody is celebrating, China also alluded to the fact that this is the first time that a Nigerian will make the 8th position. So I feel it has to be sustained. It's a good sign. It's good that we have a Nigerian, and I believe this guy is from Jos, and it's not by coincidence, because of the weather, because of the terrain. We talk about the Mambila Plateau and all those terrains in Nigeria that could help, long distance, athletes who specializes in long distance races. So for me, it's now left for the authorities to begin to encourage this athlete, to begin to give him the necessary, incentive, the motivation, the facility, the coaching, the expertise he needs. Since he has shown this sign, I think the difference between this runner and the Kibet, the Kenyan who won,
is 11
minutes. So
11 minutes. That's significant.
Yeah, very, very. So if he can close the gap in the next race, in the next edition, this is just the 10th edition, and this race has been very consistent.
So the question is, can he get the kind of coaching, the kind of facilities, the kind of training, the kind of support that he would require in order to challenge for maybe a top 5 position next year? Can he get that in here in Nigeria?
Yeah, he can. Why not? It's not rocket science. We have seen the Kenyan runners from Ethiopia, from East Africa do it. So it's just a question of trying to, their stories are well known.
And that's the issue. When you say it's not rocket science, but it seems more like East African science. These are the East Africans who dominate this particular event worldwide. They've shown tremendous capacity, from Ugandans to Ethiopians to Eritreans to Kenyans. Maybe the possibility might be to get some of the best Nigerian runners, have to take them to East Africa to train them. But Chad, I have to come to you. The 10th Lagos City Marathon, is there a city marathon in Port Harcourt or anything of this magnitude?
We tried Port Harcourt City Marathon last year, but I can't really say how successful it was. Apart from that, we've had half marathons before now, but no, nothing serious and nothing consistent.
But the question really that some are asking is, why a marathon? That Nigerians are not proficient in marathons, that we just do these events and let East Africans come and take away all the top prizes. But those who organize these marathons say it's not really about the race itself. It's about showing foreigners, showing outsiders the beauty, the possibilities of what exists in Nigeria. You have a race that meanders through a city, showing all the sights and sounds. It's really more about selling your cities or your country. Do you agree with this?
Well, you can sell your city or country in different ways. It must not be a marathon race, because eventually the participants, how well has the country done in marathon? Now, some years back, I attended a cycling tour called the Tour of Niger Delta, where the cyclists rode from Port Harcourt to Uyo, Calabar, and back. That was cycling, and you can organize some things like that. You can still show your countryside too. I think we major on the minors a lot of times in Nigeria, because there are lots of sports we can develop in Nigeria that will be useful to us. We see what Dada the guy is doing in wrestling. We can do the same with swimming. We can do the same with weightlifting, with boxing. I don't know if we even box in Nigeria anymore these days.
Oh no, we still do.
We do, really?
We do.
Okay. So, how well do we box? How organized?
Just last week we were talking about the WBC and ABU International Boxing Tournament, where Nigeria swept 10 out of the 11 medals on display. So that's
what I'm saying this, right? I started watching the Olympic Games and the Commonwealth Games in the 80s, and there are always loads of Nigerian boxers, loads of Nigerian wrestlers, loads of Nigerian weightlifters, the Lawrence Ikwabong of this generation, Iron Babasi of this generation. Now, we don't see this people anymore. Port Harcourt has no boxing gym. Let anybody say I'm lying.
Wow.
Port Harcourt, that had the likes of Smokey Joe back in those days, has no boxing gym. So these are things that we can develop. I'm not saying a marathon race is bad. I'm saying all that money we spend can be put on things that will actually benefit our own people that can build on that. But we have an 8th place in the marathon in Jos with the altitude, like Oyewuchi said. That might be good for them. But in other parts, let's focus on what the terrain supports and build on it.
Basically, you're talking about areas of comparative advantage for Nigerian athletes. I get that.